Welcome everyone to Redbull Wololo for qualifiers. This is the first round. It's only a best of one over here, so it's gonna be just one game on Runestones, which is the Arabia equivalent, and we will have the one and only Nacho AoE on the right side, the big caster himself. This one, or this time, he's gonna be the one that gets casted by me in red. And on the left side, we're going to have a guy named Klnek. I don't know much about him, but he definitely is obsessed with archer ranges because he's using 4 vills. To build that, Nacho, not necessarily the best way to use your scout in Feudal Age, but at least he knows where the opponent's town center is at. That is something I'm gonna give him. Other than that, that's a little bit underwhelming as an opening for him. He goes for heavy walls. On the south, these walls are nice, I like that, but he's gonna have to be careful because there's a hole here. Other than that, I like how he's walling, and he's walling in an adequate distance away from his gold mine, so that archers can just deny this gold mine easily. So I like this. Maybe this house could have been one tile more outwards, and you also want to drop a quick wall over here. But other than that, I actually like this quite a bit for Nacho. Now the big question is, he didn't scout that there's a hole here, and he lost his scout, so there's a chance this will remain open, and that will end up being a disaster. So, we're gonna have archers coming in here from Klnek. We have a Vikings mirror, by the way, so considering that neither of the players are playing very aggressive here, it's very likely that we would have just fast castle ages here, and this is apparently probably a casting experience speaking from Nacho. He probably knows how many games were lost on such holes, and he's going to find a hole here. The question is if he's gonna find a hole here, because there's definitely a hole in here. You see that the edge of this model is this line, and the edge of the wood line is over here. So there is definitely a hole here. If he right-clicks outside, he's gonna be able to find it. As yellow comes in, carefully evades the town center fire over here. Considering yellow didn't lose his scout, it would have made some sense for Nacho to add the spearman as well to his archers, just in case that scout also wants to be used in combat. And it seems like neither of the players are willing to mix in skirmishers at this point. Yellow's going for some big walls himself. I like the walls on the north to protect the gold mine. I also like he's sending out vills to the huntables. So far this seems like a relatively even matchup. Now, if anyone has some time to look at AoE2.net, I would be delighted to actually know the players' ratings, because I'm curious. So far it seems like the skill cap isn't that enormous. As we have Jackhammer 3 with the Prime sub. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it a lot, and Nacho will also appreciate the fact that Klnek is not fully evolved. Picks off one will, and now Yellow's gonna have to scramble his archers. In terms of upgrades, both players do have fletching, and now Nacho's gonna have to disengage, because otherwise he's gonna lose all his archers in here. Nacho is 1900, Klnek is 1600. Okay, so it's relatively balanced, not super balanced, but it's Empire Wars, so you never know. I think in Empire Wars, especially in a best of one, you have a chance to upset a player that's like 200 elo above you. I'm not saying that it's going to happen frequently, but in a best of one, there's a chance that, you know, you just get a good fight, you accidentally, or like, you pick off 5 villas when your opponent isn't looking, and stuff like that. So, theoretically, it's a game that's winnable for Yellow. Obviously, if I had to bet right now, I would bet on Nacho by a massive margin. Nice. Actually, I don't like this mining camp. It could have been over here, honestly. For Klnek, I also kind of dislike that he just left 3 of those deer to stay in there. He could have sent out a bunch of vills to take those. For now, he went for the big walls, and he lost the vill in the process. Not the end of the world, especially because he has Vikings eco. The problem that he's facing is that his opponent also has a Vikings economy. Nacho is going to be playing in double ranges. Still has this hole open, as I said. If this hole remains open, this could be a disaster for Nacho. 5 crossbows walking in here could be game over, because they will just pick off 10 gold miners in 5 seconds. So, we're going to have double range archers from Nacho with +1/+1 for now, And same thing pretty much from our yellow player. Archer numbers are slightly better for Nacho, but just by a very, very tight margin. And it very much seems like the earlier Castle Age could actually prove very useful here for Klnek, because he will have a window to potentially strike at this wood line. Looking at his scouting, he definitely had better scouting than Nacho did. So you see that, oh, this is great. This is so great for Nacho, or for Klnek. Is he gonna be able to win this? He should have been able to. I'm not sure why Yellow disengaged. Yellow could have been able to stop this one. Also, I think he should have snuck around and hit the back of this wood line instead of attacking from here. Now Nacho is up to Castle Age as well, which means that we're actually going to have an engagement here. Nacho does have Botkin, and Yellow, oh boy, that was a disaster from Yellow. Nice splits from him. Nacho still taking a better engagement over here, and I feel like Yellow kind of gave up an opportunity here. He could have picked off 1 or 2 vills here. I think this scout should have been able to finish off that vill as well. Ballistics on the way immediately for Yellow. He has Boso and Horse Color. Nacho actually is going for fast ballistics himself, but it seems like he has forgotten about Boso, or he just doesn't have the wood to afford it. Because, you see, he's floating a huge amount of food, surprisingly. Nacho apparently was a little too heavy on food, because he's got a bunch in the bank that he cannot really do much with. Considering that he's this much food, if he has a market, that would make sense to balance his eco. If not, then just send a couple more vills to wood and grab early Tumbling, because Tumbling is quite food heavy, and when you're floating that much food, you can grab early Tumbling quite nicely. So, for the time being, Tumbling is also coming in here for Yellow, but his crossbow numbers aren't impressing me. So, second town center is gonna be up for him. I would have preferred this DC also to be out here instead. This wood line is safe as it is. A town center here or here would have guaranteed safety over this gold mine. Now, as you see, Nacho will be able to get through these walls, or at least harass these gold miners. Imagine if there was a town center here. Obviously, it wouldn't have been finished by now, but conceptually, it would have been a better decision than this one, I believe. You are not really in the desperate need of defending this area with a town center, whereas this one is much more valuable. Now, it looks like Nacho was able to pick off 2 more vills on the gold mine, but here is Yellow to retaliate, and now he's got Tumbling and Ballistics. I kind of dislike how he just retreated after the first vill kill, though. If he just stays there, he could have killed a couple more. Yellow is at 16 crossbows, Nacho at 21, but Nacho not looking on his army, and that is going to be -2 crossbows for him. Takes the hill, very nice unit control from him. But behind this one, Yellow is also trying to harass his wood lines. It's going to be 3 TCs for Yellow, and Nacho is still without Boso. So Nacho's gotta be careful here, because he's gonna have to get his army cleaned up here, which evens out the crossbow numbers. This army is still being chased by Nacho here, so Nacho is going to compensate here by cleaning this one up. But as I said, Nacho is only 2 TCs. He is... oh, he's gonna go Imp. I see. Like, he was floating so much food that it actually makes sense. So, it looks like he wasn't really focusing on that much on the eco. He's just gonna go super heavy on gold and go straight into Imperial. You see, he even now sent all his vills away from food. So, he wanted to get as much food as possible and pretty much play a fast imp. Now he's gonna send everything to wood and gold. Most likely, go for a third range, mass crossbows. And then, what should follow up is him probably buying the food that he needs for Arbalest and Bracer. That's the main question here for Nacho right now. That if you send away all your vills from food, then you probably won't be able to easily afford the Bracer and Chemistry and Arbalest. Now, he still needs to be careful, because his crossbow numbers are not better than the opponent's crossbow numbers. So if he takes a fight here and the crossbows cancel each other, his imp timing may not be at all useful. Yellow actually had a patrol here. I don't like how he had a aggressive or defensive stance patrol, because that makes the units engage the buildings. He could have just snuck around here with a no attack stance and tried to hit the back of this wood line. Nonetheless, if Yellow isn't able to take a fight here in the next half a minute or so, Nacho's gonna have an easy time getting into Imperial Agent Arbalest. On the contrary, if you are Nacho, you don't want to chase this, exactly because of this one. You do not want to chase this one because you are in danger of losing your entire army, and you see that Nacho kind of fell into a trap here. He's lucky that he gets away with just 5 crossbows being picked off, but this could have been a bigger trap, and if it were to be a bigger trap, Nacho could have lost his entire army just before upgrading to Arbalest. I liked how he chased the small group for a small time, but as he was getting closer to the opponent's base, you probably want to withdraw, because you do not want to take a fight where your opponent can just cancel your archer numbers. Now, I also dislike how Klnek is taking this fight against the hill, but he probably feels like, oh shoot, my opponent is imp, I need to trade armies. And he's doing an acceptable job trading armies, but I feel like this is not going to be enough for him. He could have tried taking this hill instead. Obviously, it's a hard situation from now, and I kind of like how he's teching into Elite Skirm. Elite Skirm will buy himself some time, not an awful lot, and considering that he's got weak spots on his base, like this gate, those ARPs could get in, and as I said, this gold mine is wide open for raiding. He has just clicked into Imperial. A couple of Elite Skirms could discourage Nacho from committing against this one, but I am not super duper convinced, and you see that he's already sending gold miners to the other gold mine, knowing that that could be the primary target. Arbalest is in for Nacho, as he's dropping TC number 3 right now. His economy is actually 10 veils behind, compared to his opponent, because he wasn't booming that heavily. On the other hand, the Elite Skirms might hold out long enough for Klnek to reach Imperial. He will need to pop those out and take this fight here though. He's got +2 defense and about 6-7 Elite Skirms that should be able to stop this one and prevent those Arbalests from breaking in. I also like how he's drawing away Nacho's Arbs, and on the other side I don't think that Nacho should chase this. Nacho should just go in and commit against this one. Now this might be a bit of an overextension here. Nice reactions from Yellow to cancel the farms, and Nacho actually gets trapped in here. Now these Arbs definitely have Bracer, and that's it. So no chemistry, no tumbling on them, and Klnek actually defends nicely over here. The wheel count now is dead even, but at least Klnek is still alive, and that's, I guess, the good news for him. We're gonna have full Elite Skirm, which to the reaction should be either Onagers or probably Rams is better from Nacho, but Nacho doesn't have a single ram, and because he doesn't have a single ram, and he only has Arbalests here, he's in a bit of a trouble, because currently he has no good answer to the Elite Skirms of the opponent, and another alternative answer would be probably Champions or Berserks. He's far away from Berserks because he's not mining stone. Champions seems a little more legitimate, but that's also something that needs time, and now that those Elite Skirms have Bracer and Chemistry, suddenly the momentum seems to be in the case of, or in the hands of Klnek. 3 TCs for both players, basically even veil count for both, but the army is a lot more convincing for Klnek. Now, the thing is that Nacho still has defensive town centers, so without Siege, Yellow will not be able to push this one, and Mangonels will come in here. Mangonels will not be that bad, but once Arbalest is in for Klnek, I don't think that those will do much. The bigger question is, who's gonna switch into Berserk, Ram, or Champion first? Because here, Capped Rams or Siege Rams could be devastating. Remember that Yellow is 1600 rated, Nacho is like 1900 according to chat. So, this is what I was referring to, especially in a best of one only. There's a chance that in Empire Wars, there is going to be some upsets against higher rated players, and with Capped Rams coming in, Nacho should be able to defend against this one, because you're gonna pop out the Mangonels on this side, and when the Rams start attacking the Siege Workshop from this side, you're going to fire at them. This is a misplay here from Yellow. Yellow needs to accompany his Rams with the Arbalest because he has to pick off those Mangonels, and you see that he just now wasted 1.5 Ram over here. But Nacho clearly sees that there is going to be Rams coming his way. For the time being, I think Yellow just needs to add a couple more Arbs to pick off the Mangonels and then push with Rams. Let's see what Nacho is up to. It seems like Nacho is up to nothing, sort of. He's just sticking with Arbalest and Elite Skirm. I kind of dislike that he's not making any tech switch happen here. He's got the hill here, which is a nice defensive position, but he only has +2 defense, and his opponent has +4. Remember that Nacho pretty much gave up his entire food eco upon clicking up to Imperial, and that sort of backfires right now. On the other hand, he actually expanded to 4 TCs, and now he's 94 Vils. Yellow kinda stuck at 80, and that's a mistake from Yellow. Why is Yellow not making more Vils? That's a mystery to me. He, I think, wants to squeeze out Siege Ram, though. Nope. For a moment, it seemed like he wanted to squeeze out Siege Ram because he's piling up a lot of food, but it very much seems like he was just too focused on fighting, and he wasn't making Vils. His army is still something that convinces me more, and considering that Nacho just got Boso, the economy for Yellow was better for a long time than Nacho's eco. Still, I feel like Yellow needs some sort of momentum to push this one. He is assembling a ram push here with some manganol support, and now he's sending some ARPs to the right side. This could be devastating here. And in the moment Nacho pulls off his army, Yellow's gonna push in here with rams, that's the plan. And even though Yellow is behind by 16 Vils, that is gonna be a lot of dead Vils here from Nacho. And as I said, he's gonna have to react to this one. He's sending his army, and there's an overchop here as well. If you're Yellow, you don't want to overcommit though. I don't like how he's diving in. He could kill some Vils, but he's in danger of losing his entire army. I like how Nacho is keeping some ARPs back, but guess what? The ARPs die to the lead skirms, and while Nacho is busy chasing this army, as Yellow will disengage, we're going to have a push coming in here. The Manganol takes a shot up hills, takes down 2 Manganols of our red player. There is still one more Manganol over here that will apparently just die to the skirmisher fire. And now there is no more Manganols to destroy rams. And the Arbalests, they also escape to the corner over here. The Vil count is as close as it gets. And if this Siege Workshop goes down, Nacho is in trouble because this gold mine is gonna be gone for him. So he needs to finish off this Siege Workshop, but other than that, Yellow is in the driver's seat right now. I think that Nacho could have tried switching into champions earlier because his opponent was so heavy on skirmishers that it would have worked nicely. This is a nice reaction from Nacho though, and a mistake from Yellow. Yellow didn't actually commit his skirms against the TC, so Nacho is able to run down the rams with Vils. This is a massive mistake from Yellow and a nice reaction from Nacho. He was a little too slow killing the rams, so he loses the TC over here, but at least this buys himself some time. And that's massive. Siege Ram will be coming in here for our Yellow player though, and Nacho still doesn't have a good answer for that. He still has Elite Skirms chasing this group of Yellow Arbs, and so we got Bulletator, thank you so much for the 1 year of resub. I appreciate that, welcome. Welcome. Now Nacho's taking into Onager. That's, I think, one step closer to potentially sort of coming back into this game. He's behind by 16 Vils, his army value is lower, but considering that Yellow basically just has skirmishers, 2 or 3 Onagers could completely turn the tide of this game, especially if Red is able to get some nice Vil kills here on the stone mine. Klnek apparently has some trouble with reseeding the farms in here, and he's thinking about an additional town center for the time being. Onager is in, but he doesn't actually have a single Onager right now. He's queuing up more and more of those. And remember that Nacho is still acceptable in Vil count. I'm not saying Nacho is leading, but you see that the score is close, and that is completely right, I believe. And as I said, he just needs a couple of good Onager hits like this one, and suddenly things could turn around. And he's doing a nice job raiding with these couple of elite skirms here as well. It's not doing a lot of damage, but even 1 or 2 Vils being picked off like that is something that we can consider a value. So now it is Yellow who is the one that has to make some sort of tech switch to counter Onagers. He's gonna go for his own Onagers as well over here, and we will have a counterattack coming in here from Nacho. He takes over in the score. His villager count is still a little lower than the opponent's Vil count, but the army numbers are much better for him. The big problem right now for Nacho is gold. He's only 4 on gold. His gold over here is very exposed. He finds this gold mine. And remember that Nacho lost his scout early on, which means that he's unable to scout easily for extra gold mines. He has very limited vision. if you take a look at this. He doesn't really see the additional gold mines around. Neither of the players are picking up relics, so all 5 relics are still available for anyone to go for it. And this is a dangerous play here from Nacho. There's multiple siege workshops, and just one good shot from yellow and all the chances of Nacho will evaporate. And I feel like this would be a perfect time for yellow to pop out an onager. Nice reaction from Nacho to go for the staggered formation. Yellow takes down an onager from Nacho, and it ends up being a 2-for-2 at the end. Still, Nacho is now the one with the army numbers advantage, and as much as his gold mine is exposed over here, this gold mine is also exposed heavily, so yellow's gonna have some gold control issues soon. Whoever switches into berserks first could win the game, I believe, because berserks would just annihilate the onager plus skirmisher composition of the opponent. Here comes another onager from yellow, and Nacho eats a relatively big hit over here, and another one. This onager also had the hill advantage, so Nacho's attack here is gonna be repelled with the help of an onager. In this one, Nacho takes over in will count once again, and he's also denying a stone mine over here for the time being. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ripperino. Ripperino. That looked ugly. Nacho kind of fell into a trap over here. That was like minus 15 skirmishers for him. So now his army... Oops, why is this so fast? Hold on. Okay. So now, here's the first castle, and apparently yellow isn't messing around. He wants to drop a castle in the face of Nacho. Nacho is taking into cavalry instead. That's an interesting decision. I like the stone walls, he's preparing for the long game. But he's got a lot of gold. Why is he taking into cavalry? And, I mean, he doesn't have the stone for berserks, but even champions would be a little bit more reasonable than Viking light cav, honestly. And he's gonna have a castle in his face. Onagers will exchange shots over here, but I see more and more Arbalest again from yellow. I feel like that onager shot may have decided the game. Because now Nacho doesn't have the army to stop this one, and yellow is gonna leverage this momentum to drop a castle here, and yellow's got 20 on stone. So, oh, beautiful micro by yellow, just onagering his own entire army. And such a move could be a disaster, because Nacho still has the chance to counterattack this one. He's gonna need a castle here himself, though. The problem for Nacho is that his stone is very exposed here, so he can't really take his stone here. And his other stone, he's mining it right now. 14 wheels on stone, he's doing what he has to. So, Nacho needs to mine this stone, make a castle here, and trap this one down. That's his only shot. The other thing I would love to see is Light Cav being massed in these stables. Because if you mass Light Cav here, this will give you an opportunity later to potentially pop out with 15 Light Cav out of these stables, snipe down some onagers or snipe down some trebs. That could be very helpful in the case of a trap war. A defensive castle coming in on the right side for Klnek to secure some map control. Nacho is sneaking out for this gold mine that he has found, and this is what I was referring to. Whoever switches to berserk here first might win the game. Yellow, what are you doing? Yellow, what are you doing? Yellow, what are you doing? What are you doing? Is he just scouting with this will, or what? What is he doing? He might be just scouting, seeing if Nacho has any resources left, but it definitely feels awkward having a random will in here. If he really wants to play for the memes, he will just make us, I don't know, an archer range over here. And considering that, you know, Nacho is also busy doing other things, like fighting over here, and he actually stops this castle and making the trap wars, this will could actually make us archer range over here. So, for the time being, Nacho's army is still smaller than the opponent's army. He's queuing up traps just like his opponent does. And we're seeing the famous and well-renowned Viking scouts in action. Now he sees that he's up against berserks though, so clock is ticking, I would say, for Nacho, because berserks will eat everything that he has right now. There's another lady as well. So, wait a second. Is this a TC rally point that's set wrong? Because apparently there's a party happening over here. Or a castle drop. If yellow makes a castle here, I'm going to scream. Like, Nacho's obviously busy fighting elsewhere, so... In theory, yeah, this is a wrong rally point. this is a wrong rally point. Wheels are actually trickling in one by one here. So it looks like yellow isn't noticing that. Now the raids are nice here, and this is one of the things I realized, that all casters have this late post-Imperial style, because basically every caster likes to play with these late game raids. Myself, I saw T90 doing it. Nilly does this very, very frequently as well. You see Nacho as well. Because I think the casters, after casting hundreds, if not thousands of games, they kind of realize that, okay, I can't just sit back in my base, I need to do something. And that something can be potentially a raid like that. Now, Nacho, nice reaction, repairing that trap, that is huge. Nacho is taking a good fight. Nacho is taking a good fight over here. He takes down the skirmishers, he's got 2 castles against 1. He's got light cav to potentially snipe traps over here, even though it's only a couple of light cav. He lost 1 trap over here though, and his opponent still has the hill advantage. But I like how Nacho is trapping the castle, while his opponent is trapping his trap over here. Nacho still needs to repair this trap over here though, because he is just losing those. He loses this gold mine over here for the time being, as he's still doing his best to sort of get some resource control over the map, but his opponent is increasing quite dramatically in berserks. The berserks still don't have great upgrades. They have +4 defense, but no elite, and for berserks, elite is a very, very important upgrade. So the thing, however, is that right now Nacho is going to struggle stopping those berserks. The good news is that he's still having some gold, and he could also balance his eco here. So he could make a couple of ARPs to stop those berserks, and now the berserks are trickling in. Nacho makes a stable back at home, so I think he noticed these wheels in here, and Nacho's got some light cav in. Keep in mind that while yellow does have the berserk numbers, he doesn't have a huge amount of gold in the bank. So it's not like he can flood berserks endlessly, and in the very, very long run, Nacho's light cavalry play is going to be a little bit more cost efficient. And it's happening. It's happening. Yellow is doing it. Look at these sneaky vills. I mean, it's just a little too late from yellow now, because Nacho already found this, but if he does this 2 minutes ago, this would have been so annoying. And here comes the post-Imperial Spearman raid from yellow. He's doing it. He comes in with the spears, and honestly, if this spearman pokes down the scout... Okay, the skirms are coming back, but this must be so annoying for Nacho to deal with. Imagine if he was playing champions. Champions coming in here would be extremely annoying for Nacho. Like, spearman will be picked off by the elite skirms, as he's even teching into pikemen. Keep in mind that behind this one, Nacho is doing a better and better job raiding, so he's taking down quite a lot of wheels from the opponent as the berserks dive in, but as I said, berserks, especially without attack upgrades, they're very underwhelming, and look at this fight. Nacho's got 2 traps still firing up hills, yellow has enough stone to repair for a while, and Nacho needs to repair his own castle here, but here's the deal. Those berserks didn't have elite, they didn't have attack upgrades, which just means that they would just die so easily, or the damage output is so low. Berserks are one of the units that benefit so much from the elite upgrade. It's almost mandatory to have it for them. And with the Castle Fire and Skirmishers, they were able to take down those berserks. Yellow is running short on stone in a matter of moments, which means that this castle will soon not be repaired anymore. And that's the opportunity for Nacho to take it down finally, relieve the pressure on his base. The pikemen are in, and they're still poking down the scouts over here, or light cav. Still, at this point, I think Nacho should pull 5 wheels to rush this one down as well, with the extra attack of wheels against buildings. Still, berserk raids are coming in for yellow, but his numbers are good, but they're not actually like grouped together. They're all across the map chasing light cavalry, and that's a great scenario for Nacho. He's using cheap units like light cav to pretty much distract a large group of more expensive units, like berserks. This is definitely a very, very good game over here. I didn't think there was gonna be a game in the first round that is YouTube content worthy, but this is a good game. And credits to Yellow, who is much lower rated than Nacho, for still putting up a good fight, borderline being in a winning position. As I said, I really dislike how he doesn't have the upgrades on the berserks. Even if not elite, at least the attack upgrades are so needed, because otherwise the berserks attack isn't that promising. And you see that eventually their numbers will be ground down by light cav and skirmishers. So it looks like these stables will no longer be a thing here, and the raids are all cleaned up inside the base of Nacho, as we're gonna have chieftains. Alright, I guess. Yeah, they didn't even have chieftains. That's so bad. These berserks are actually not impressive. Like, the light cav are pretty bad for Vikings, but the cost efficiency is still on the side of light cav plus a bazillion of elite skirms, in contrast to berserks that do not have chieftains against cavalry, do not have attack upgrades, and do not have elite. So yeah, these berserks are very, very, very underwhelming. That's a misplay though from Nacho. So I don't know what happened over here, but that trap was way too exposed. That's not nice. I think the next step for Nacho is exactly what he's doing right now. Send in 20 light cav. Because free light cavs are nice, but without +4 defense, the TC fire will clean them up relatively easily. What you need is like 20 light cav to run in into the opponent's base. I like how yellow has a defensive castle here in the middle of the farming eco. He could use one somewhere around over here or stone walls. So yellow could easily stonewall this, and that would give so much freedom for him. He's waiting for +2 attack, but you see that that many skirmishers can pick off berserks one by one, and if the berserks don't have good attack, they can just get a good surround and overrun this. And Nacho with the Viking Cavalier! Viking Cavalier! Holy longswords, man, what is that? This is a nice raid, but I feel like Viking Cavalier is the biggest waste of gold that you can possibly do here. Like, at this point, your opponent has berserks with chieftains. Your best bet is like your own berserks or maybe champions or something, or just spend your gold on Arbs even. So, if you go for Arbs here, there is nothing that yellow can do. But Cavalier seems so wasteful. They will die to the castle fire, and it would have been so much more reasonable to just go for light cav to continue the raids, and then, as I said, go into Arbalest again to deal with the berserks, or champion as a meat shield even. As the berserks now dive in, there is some Arbalests here to take this fight, and I'm not saying that this is a good fight for yellow. This could be the make or break, and he sort of is sacrificing all his berserks to save this castle. I don't like this for yellow. He's going to save the castle, but it's gonna come at a huge price. Now, once you have Elite Skirm as well, Berserk Elite Skirm is not something that Nacho can deal with right now, as some more light cavs will trickle in. Maybe Nacho have overextended, and it was an extremely expensive fight for him. He lost like 4 or 5 trebs in that fight. I think Arbalest Light Cav may be the best choice here for Nacho, other than his own berserks. He could easily tech into his own berserks. He's got 2 castles, making a 3rd one right now, as he's getting imp upgrades just now. Yellow completely forgot about upgrades now. Look at this. Horse color and Boso. And indeed, it's worth pointing out that the time limit for a game is 75 minutes, and we're actually getting close to that. Nacho coming in with some more light cav. He has overchopped his woodland, which gives a chance for the berserks to run into his eco. And it doesn't really seem like Nacho is realizing this. Uh-oh. This could be a disaster. Now he's scrambling to rush a TC here. But so far yellow has always ran away from fights. Now that he has elite, even though he's missing blast furnace, he's no longer running away. And once he commits with 30 elite berserks, things will look really ugly for Nacho. Here's the deal, however. Yellow only has 3 castles, one of them being in flames. Actually, it's 4 castles. So if he loses one over here, his berserk production will be hit pretty hard, and he doesn't have a huge amount of skirms. So Arbalest once again for Nacho could work, and it seems like since yellow doesn't have stone, yellow could just easily lose this castle. Nacho's gonna have a hard time cleaning this one up over here, as he's finally getting a monastery to pick up relics. Neither of the players have picked up a single relic in this game so far. So there's still, a lot of things that you could do to improve your position for both players. For Yellow, for example, grabbing the eco upgrades would definitely be a nice thing. He's buying stone for a ridiculous price, but it's just a little too late, and he loses one of the castles. In exchange, Nacho is losing a lot of vills back at home, so both players are down to like 90 vills or so. Nacho coming in here with another attack. The problem and the difference between the two players is that Yellow has a defensive cast in the middle of the farming eco, whereas on the other side, Nacho doesn't have any defense over here. This is wide open for raiding. Here comes a big fight though in the middle, and remember that Nacho still has the opportunity. Like, his army is big, 85. The problem is that his eco is being ruined, and it seems like he's not noticing. Oh boy. Nacho is not noticing this one. He's not noticing this one either, and Nacho has 67 idols. Even though he's doing damage to the opponent, the problem is that his eco behind this one completely collapsed. If he can get all of those vills back to work, it's still good, and he's getting a good surround here. Hold on. Both players have a pretty wacky eco right now, but this momentum that Nacho has may be able to snowball the game, because currently Nacho's gonna lose a huge amount of vills. But it's also true for Yellow, so both players will have their eco collapse, but Nacho's army is a lot bigger. Still no relics for either side. Nacho fixing his economy right now. He's still very much open here on the north. The time limit is 75 minutes, so 15 minutes from now on, I believe. It's 900 years. Nacho has a huge amount of stone in his bank, so I think the win condition for Nacho is castle here to protect his farming eco, and potentially a castle here could make some sense as well, but Nacho needs a defensive castle here because you see that there is units trickling into his economy, and he just now fixed his eco. He needs a castle either here or somewhere, but there needs to be a defensive building over here. If he gets a castle up here, there's no way the berserks and the elite skirms will run into his eco anymore. So, considering the fact that I think in a flat-out open field battle, Nacho would be winning this with Arbalest and Elite Skirm and Light Cav. If he's able to keep his eco intact, then he should have this, I believe. The score is still in the favor of Yellow, and Yellow is teching into Light Cav himself. 1 relic for Nacho right now, 0 for Red. Remember that Yellow just needs to hold out right now, because the time limit is getting closer and closer. So if Yellow can actually keep this position for 10 more minutes or so game time, suddenly Nacho's gonna be in trouble. And as I said, Yellow's score is much higher than Nacho's right now. So Nacho needs to go for the kill here. Now he's got the tools to do it, because guess what? His opponent is down to 10 berserks, as Yellow actually sends a Vil here. I wonder, that's still a wrong rally point. He just now started queuing up new Vils, and this is the brutal thing here about this game, that Nacho, I think, now is leading. He's got better Vil count, but the army numbers are way better. However, this may not be worth anything at all if Nacho isn't able to kill his opponents in 10 minutes. Because if Yellow has the higher score in 10 minutes, then Yellow's gonna win, regardless of how good Nacho's position is currently. The good news for Nacho is that now he's taking down those castles, and I feel like Yellow's eco here is gonna be breached, and he's just unable to replenish army anymore. He's trying to go for elite skirms, but he's just so far behind right now, teching into light cavalry anymore, and Nacho's investment to Arbalest is paying off here. So having about 15-20 ARBs here is probably enough. Yeah, 20 ARBs. Those are the ones that are the berserk killers. And now Nacho is in the driver's seat. The score is getting closer. It was 2,000 score difference a couple of minutes ago. Now it's only 600. And I feel like the score will soon flip, and then Yellow is gonna be out of this game. Nacho with an impressive comeback, I must say, because he was in a rough spot for a long time. And as I said, this defensive castle, exactly what Nacho needed to potentially prevent raids coming into his base. And then I like this castle as well. This sort of secures this part of the map for himself. He's collecting relics now. I feel like the middle of the game was a little weaker from Nacho. He didn't really feel like he had a good game plan in early Imperial, but now he switched gears, I believe, and he's collecting relics, he's establishing map control, and with the score flipping, the chances of yellow are basically down to 0. He's at 13 army, 109 population. His opponent is at 200 pop, and Nacho AoE in a long and grindy game, a very, very back and forth one, I must say. He's going to edge out Victor in the first round. I am pleasantly surprised about this game. Like, when you guys said it's gonna be a 1900 player versus a 1600 player, I was like, this might be a fast game, and, you know, first round of the tournament, I wasn't expecting super competitive games, but honestly, for a first round game, this was extremely good. This would have been a very, very good game in general, but Nacho wins the first one, so he's moving into the next round of the tournament. Congrats to him, but well played to Nacho, especially like once he got this castle up in the last 5 minutes of his game was almost perfect. Early middle Imperial Age was a little bit wacky for Nacho, so there were some scary moments for him. On the other side, give some credit to Yellow as well, because Yellow is 1600 rated and Nacho is 1900, so Yellow also played really well. For a 300 elo difference, this was a very, very competitive game, so it is a nice and balanced game over here. Congrats to Nacho for moving forward, and I might actually end up uploading this to YouTube.